Here we go. So this is 3D. So we're going to do example 3D, 4A, 4B, and then we're going to do 5. Hopefully we can do that all in one video. We'll see. Okay? So again, this says the absolute value is greater than -2. Anytime I see an absolute value equal or inequality to a negative number, warning signs go off. Because absolute value shouldn't equal a negative number. Because absolute value is distance away from 0. So again, let me tell you why warning signals went off. Because it equals a negative. So you should think, what did I learn about absolute values, inequalities, and negatives? Well, it's in this study tip again, right here. If the absolute value is greater than or equal to -5, then the solution is infinite solutions. What that means is, it's the entire line. There is no breaks in it. It's the entire line. So, I just need you to know that there's a hair in my mask right now. And it itches. So what we're going to do is we're just going to draw a number line. And let's make it a real simple one again, you guys. That doesn't really mean anything. I just put it there because we're used to 2 and -2s. Doesn't really, for this problem, the solution set is all real numbers. And I'm just going to shade the whole thing in. So basically it means it doesn't matter what you put in there, it's going to make it a true statement. So let's test it out, you guys. Let's test out -5. Is the absolute value of -5 greater than -2? It is. Let's test another one out. Let's test out 0. Is the absolute value of 0 greater than -2? Yeah. Let's test another one out. 7. Is the absolute value of 7 greater than -2? Yes. So I tested a number on this side, I tested a number here, and I tested a number on this side, which make them all true. So every part of the number line is true, hence why it's all real numbers. So again, you make sure that if your absolute value equals a negative number, think about it shouldn't equal a negative number. What do I know about that? That's the important thing. Okay. If at any time you're like, Miss Fleury, can we just stop? Let me know and I'll hit pause and we can stop. Okay? Hybrid bees, you can push stop anytime you want to. Do you like that I did that? They can't see what I just did. Ha ha ha. Okay. Okay, this is example 4A. You're going to treat this just like we treated example 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D. Everything, all those rules that we just did, they apply to equations like this. So when we saw that it was greater than, in example 3C, we knew it was an or. That same type of philosophy is going to carry on with this. We're going to do it two ways. We're going to set up 4x minus 7 is greater than 13. And we're going to set it up as 4x is minus 7 is less than negative 13. And because it's a greater than, we're going to put the word or. Absolute value, always two equations, always has to graph. Inequalities, if there's two inequalities, when you do compound, always two inequalities, always have to graph. So I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Now, it doesn't matter if there was a line underneath there, you guys. If it said greater than or equal to, it still would be an or. If it's less than or equal to, it'd still be an and. So we're still going to, those same philosophies still apply. I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Okay. And I'm going to get 4x is less than negative 6. I'm going to divide by that 4. And x is less than, I think we should reduce it. So if you reduce it, what would we reduce by? 2. And I would get negative 3/2. This is probably the only time that I'm going to let you get away, but to do all those little ticks, I want you to spend your time on making sure your answer is right, then making sure that you have the perfect number line, okay? So, I want to know if the solution includes negative 3/2. Does it include negative 3/2? There's no line, so it doesn't. So that means I'm going to put an open circle. That open circle means it doesn't include that number. Does the solution include 5? Now, I know that we know what or looks like, but I always think that you should test to make sure you're correct. So I'm going to use 0, that perfect number in between, right? Is 0 greater than 5? False, right? Is 0 less than negative 3/2? That's false. So since it's false, that's why we're going to shade this way. And then we're going to shade this way. You guys, if it was true, then we would shade in between, and then that would be our answer. That would be our final answer. And you guys, just a reminder about how to set this. I know I haven't done this, but we're going to say x such that x is greater than 5 or x is less than negative 3/2. That's your answer, okay? The graph in this. Okay. So things that you have to think about. It's absolute value. It's an absolute value inequality. That means it's compound.